Welcome back to another video, everybody. So I'm gonna do a video and discuss Wingbits, and y'all know I am very high on Wingbits right now. And one of the big things is, as a new project, they're actually listening to some of the feedback that they're getting from the people who are involved, the you and me, who are involved to help try to build this project. So we're gonna talk about the new way that they're gonna do rewards, and I think this is gonna be a lot more fair for a lot of people, and a lot of people can be happy about this. So let's get started. First thing I want to say is I am almost at 1,000 subscribers. This is extremely humbling. I cannot believe it. Every time I look at it, I just can't believe it. And I know they got YouTube channels out there with 100,000 and 500,000 and a million subscribers. But for me, who is amateur at best, and even amateur doesn't describe how bad some of my videos are, you know, for what I lack in production values, I try to be honest and straightforward with y'all. I even admit when I'm wrong, which a lot of people will not do. I'm not taking compensation from anybody. I've even actually had somebody offer me some type of, I don't know if you want to call it a partnership or just some kind of compensation or something to help promote one of the projects. And I turned it down because I said I wanted to be straight, honest, and when it's negative, it's negative, and I want to be able to stay that positive, that straightforward truthfulness with y'all. So thank y'all for everybody. If y'all have not subscribed, please subscribe. I'd like to be able to get to that 1,000 subscriber level. If you like these videos and these videos I'm trying to put on for y'all, please smash that like button. It tells me that I'm doing something right, so I go back and look at these different videos and see which ones had more likes, which one had less likes. I know which way to tailor things and stuff like that. So please hit the like button for me, that thumbs up button. Please hit the subscribe button for me, and let's get started. So Wingbits is a project that I'm very high on right now, and for those of you, if you've seen my previous videos, y'all know basically what it's about. It is tracking ADSB. And one thing I also like about this project is they have basically doxed themselves, which is a big thing for a lot of new projects, for us to trust them. You can go to their Discord and you see the people who are in this project, working on this project. They are in the Discord discussing stuff with us. They have left their LinkedIns. These are established LinkedIns with many people on them that they've had for a while. And these are honest people. Another thing is, if you go to their Discord, they actually did an AMA. They have recently picked Peak to be the blockchain that they wish to use. I wasn't that familiar with Peak, I'll be honest with you. Some people in the Discords have, but this seemed to work well. Their layer one blockchain that they were going to base the Wingbits token on and everything like that. So y'all can read about that in the announcements. Also, one thing that this project has done also is an AMA. Guys, gals, I'm very high on these AMAs. I'm also trying to do one to help out. I'd also like to try to do one to do on my page, my YouTube channel also, so that y'all can see what Wingbits is about. I'm hoping I can get one done with them and one with the BHST guys. I think it's something that proves a lot when they can come on here and answer questions that we might have and explain in their own voice, and they can discuss what their project means to them and what they're doing. But there was an AMA that was done, and you can see that you can click the link and still go back. I have actually gone back. I missed the live event, but I did go back and I listened to every minute of this AMA, and Ghosty was on there. Robin was on here, and you can hear from their own words what this project means to them and what they're doing with it. And that meant a lot, at least for me, to hear that kind of discussion going on, because to me, it's a lot of transparency that we don't see in a lot of different projects. Not to point any certain one out or anything like that, but there are several other projects out there that will not do this kind of transparency, and they are doing the transparency. Same thing with BHST. Those guys, BHS, those guys are doing that same type of thing. So go and listen to this AMA if you wish. And, it is a little bit long, so you can kind of skip through it if you want to, but go listen to what these guys are looking to do. So one big thing that Wingbits is doing different is there is a light paper on their website that you can read, and they talk about the different coverages and buying coverage hexes, and only 3 people can buy hexes, which some people don't like that. I do like it because this is one of my family members' accounts. I use this account in my videos because there's less than purchased and gives kind of a better example of what you might see if you're trying to buy a hex. But, where Helium or some of these other projects might have, in New Orleans, there might be a whole bunch of hexes on here. This is one sky hex with Wingbits. And, if you lived here and you wanted to buy a hex, or if you lived here, this hex is full. And some people got upset over that because you don't know what kind of setup that the people currently have. And you might be able to offer better setup. And then, some people didn't want to pay for it if all these hexes were full, and didn't want to have to just pay for the ones that they couldn't cover if they were not going to get any rewards on their home hex. You have all these planes and stuff that are being captured and different things like that, but you would see that these were all full. So again, the Wingbits guys listen to y'all, and they come up with this WIP 2 updated reward system, and you can read it. And I'll be honest with you guys. I failed college math, and that's why I do what I do today. But I basically asked them for a breakdown of what this means. And to make a long story short, I'll swing over to Orlando to make it kind of a better example. On the old system, if you lived in Orlando and wanted to set up a device and get compensated, you could maybe buy these hexes out here if you were providing coverage, and there's still one spot left in the orange ones, and that's all you would get compensated for, is whatever you purchased way out here. And you might be getting providing borderline coverage out here, where a lot of your planes would be here. In the old system, you would not be getting compensated for it. Now with the new system, you set up a device here, and you will get compensated as a supporter for these hexes that you're still providing coverage for. It's not going to be the full rewards that if you own a hex, but you will get some rewards for a full hex. And these out here, if there's a bunch of planes out here, and you own a station here and somebody else owns a station here, y'all will split these hexes because nobody owns them. So you will get compensated for these that you don't own, and you will get compensated for the ones you don't own. And this has been kind of hard to explain to people, but when you look at some of these areas in Florida, I'll use for example, is you look how far all these planes are out here, and you look how far these planes are out here. And just because you live here, you might still be able to provide coverage for these. Just because you live here, you might be able to provide coverage. You'd be surprised when these planes are 40,000 feet up, how far you can provide. I mean, think about it. There's no station out here in the middle of this, but somebody is providing, either that lives here, more than likely, Key West maybe, but somebody is providing a ground station somewhere here that's providing planes over Cuba. So, I see a lot of people get negative saying, oh, all the hexes in my area are purchased. Hey, if you have a good setup that's, definitely above your roof line, there's no obstacles in the way, you don't have to get your plane, your station that high off the ground. Again, my station that's right here that I showed y'all a previous video of, that's right here, this station is picking up all these planes this far out, and you look at what the mileage is coming this far out. So here we are, it's 5:58 at night, and so there's a lot less planes on here. This station will normally see, I went and had to restart this station today. I had to update something on it, so the lines are fairly new, but this station will normally hit about 170 to 180 aircraft in the evening. Again, this outer ring is 200 miles. So you got to figure I'm getting 220 to 200 and something miles. So let's see, this is 246 miles away from my station. Let's see what this one is. This one's 238 miles of station. This is near Montgomery. So my station that's only about 20 feet off the ground, maybe 15 feet off the ground, it has a clear line of sight this way, it's hitting Montgomery. Nobody's even purchased that one yet. So don't be closed-minded to think that, hey, I'm right here and these hexes are purchased. I can't cover this, that this project's not for me. But again, so now you put a station right here. You're going to still get compensated as a supporter for this, but you can still purchase these and get a full purchase compensation for these. How does the compensation work? So I basically asked them for the no frills version of this. There's essentially 2 layers to these rewards. There's a supported network, which is if you don't purchase that hex, because that hex is full. Supported network has 100% base rewards in each hex. These rewards are distributed to everyone tracking in the hex, both supporter and the core network. If someone buys a hex, it then adds another 100% base rewards to that hex. Now you have 100% base rewards that are distributed between a hex owner and everyone else based on that data proportion. Then you have an additional 100% rewards that can be allocated to the hex owner. So if you have 3 owners in the hex, all the hex owners compete for 100% in share in the 100% supporter base with an unlimited amount of other people covering the hex. But then they also compete with each other for the additional 300% base rewards, which is 100% per owner. So if you only have 2 owners in the hex, that's going to be 200% per hex owner. So basically what this boils down to try to make it simple, is for the people who live in the area that the hex is purchased, you can still participate in this project and you will still receive rewards. You might not receive the same amount as, or you won't receive the same amount as somebody who has purchased it, but you will still get rewards. Again, most of these devices are seeing, they're seeing pretty far out. Here's another one of my stations. Again, this station's in Baton Rouge. This station is seeing, this is a 200-mile radius line right here. I'm still over 200 miles offshore. That's 235 miles. 200 miles, 200 miles. So basically a 200-mile ring of where you live at. So the next station I'm working on right now is, I have a friend with a house in Bay St. Louis. Right now it appears that there's no stations out there. Nobody owns hexes in that area other than me. But I'm planning on putting a station out here. So when you measure this out using, like, this is just Google Maps. You can figure 150 miles, if that's even just your average, and then you can look and see what 150 miles is. You're still going into the other side of the state. And for those across, UK or whatever like that, y'all can go and use kilometers and stuff like that. I don't know what the equivalent is. But at 150 miles, that's a lot of hexes still. And then you come out here 200 miles, and you look how far you can get with 200 miles. So again, when you start looking at these hexes, you're getting far out here. So what I've been doing is, when I come next payday, every payday I've been purchasing a hex. I'm goofy. Instead of DCAing, every payday I DCA, I've told you before, and I DCA into Cosmos Atom and Cardano and Solana, and then I buy whatever the flavor of the week is that I like this, whether it's bonk because I missed out on that or whatever. This is where I'm at now. So my DHA, dollar hex averaging, is what I'll do is I'll look at some of my stations, and I'm comparing my TAR 190. This is another station I have. This station has a big tree next to it. The tree kind of shades this size, as y'all can see. But then I'm also still getting 200 plus miles. Here's 230 miles, almost 230 miles, 238 miles, so almost 240 miles. What's this? 255 miles. So, and this one is not even probably 10 feet off the ground, the antenna. It clears a roof line, has a tree on this side. So remember, you don't know until Kind of like anything we do when we do in RF, especially we do these microwave shots. What we think might work sometimes doesn't work, and sometimes what shouldn't work works with no problem. And you're not gonna know unless you test it out. So what I do is I'll come up here and I'll take a look and say, hey, I'm providing coverage to this area of Montgomery. And right now, I don't own a hex in Montgomery. I don't even own the hex between the hex of Montgomery. So, I'm using that to say, hey, I'm providing coverage at Montgomery, south of Montgomery, in between here, Tuscaloosa, and this area right here. And I can still purchase these. And that's what I'm looking at. And that's how I'm doing this. And even when I go south, for some reason, there's not a lot of planes in this area, but I always talk about the highway to Miami, the Disney World Express right here. And here we go. The Disney World Express right here there's a lot of planes that come here. A lot of planes are south of Lake Charles. So I'll try to figure out am I missing planes that are coming through here or over Lake Charles? And that's what I'm using. And I'm buying one hex a payday. So my payday is this Friday. I'll buy another hex. Which hex is it? I don't know. I know that I'm covering a lot of planes right here with Natchez. But I'm going to show you something else where I see people arguing about, who's getting the better signal, who's getting the most messages, who's getting the most aircraft and stuff like that. And I'll argue, and hey, I could be wrong. Won't be the first time. Definitely won't be the first time this year, if y'all been following me at all. But I have a station right here that is only picking up 26 aircraft right now. Well, you saw the other one's getting 100. This is a low setup, but this guy lives right next to New Orleans Lakefront Airport. New Orleans has two airports. They have an airport here, and then they have the international airport. This one is so low, though, you'll see he will pick up stuff off the ground level where my other stations don't. A lot more low-level aircraft, a lot of helicopters flying over the city. This station picks it up. I have another station that's in Hammond. It's the same thing. Look, he's got 38. And one thing I'll argue is this is right next to Hammond's airport. So when there's low-level stuff flying in Hammond and helicopters or anything like that that's low-level, he's picking it up where my station right down the road is not picking it up. So it's not always about, hey, who's got the most aircraft and stuff like that, because I found the higher I go, or some stations, the further I am for airports, I'm not picking up that low-level aircraft stuff. So, a station right next to an airport might be better for those low-flying and what's there, but you might have issues when you get further out, where my rural stations that are in the middle of nowhere, some of those are doing very well, getting 200 aircraft, but they're not getting those super low-level ones. So what's good about Wingbits is you don't have to worry about paying per station. You just add antennas. You just add stations. If I want to put, going back to my family member's hex, if I want to put, let me use this one for example as if it's mine. No, if I want to put one station right here to cover all this, I'm paying $60, which is these 3 hexes. If I want to put 3 stations up in this one hex right here, I'm paying $60 for these hexes to provide better coverage. If I want to put a station here, here, and here, $60. If I want to put 3 stations here, 3 stations here, 3 stations here, or even another station here on a hex I don't even own, it is $60. That's what I like about this is you can put as many stations as you want. Now, you're only going to get paid for unique coverage. But what do they mean by unique coverage? So here are 2 different stations I have. This one picks up 122. This one picks up 107. They're both in 2 different locations. So if we sat here and nitpicked and we found where this station had these plotted, and if we came over here and found a plane, let's say that's right here, that's not on this one, then that would be considered a unique aircraft, and we will be compensated for that unique aircraft in that hex. So, you can have 4 stations all in your wallet or whatever you want to call it, in your account. but you're only going to get paid per unique aircraft. So no matter how many stations you have in here, if one of those stations is giving you a lot of airplanes in this area, your other station is not going to be compensated for those same airplanes, only unique aircraft. So in wrapping this up, I hope I didn't really confuse a lot of y'all. I really didn't want to do that. I'm just trying to, I know a lot of people disappointed that when these hexes got released, they could not purchase anything. I know the UK, especially area, I know people from the other projects and stuff who are very upset that they wouldn't be able to purchase them. But now they know, hey, if they're right here by Birmingham in the UK, or Manchester or anything like that, they know that even if they're providing coverage, and this is as far as their coverage goes, hey guys, y'all can still participate in this project and y'all will still be compensated. You won't be compensated as much as if you own one, but if you have if you're here in your airplanes and you're picking up aircraft in these green areas or this yellow area, then purchase them. You can get partial rewards for this and full rewards for this. Same thing if you're covering and you're hitting any of these. So don't just automatically assume that because your ground station's here, you're out this project because it's full. Now you'll know that you will get compensated also. And I think that's big. And I appreciate that these guys are listening to us. And from what I understand, I'll have to confirm this, but there's supposed to be a waiting list that's going to come up. That's what they're discussing. That you'll know you can, if you want to be in this hex right here that's sold out, there's a notify me when available. And you should be able to get notified when that hex is available. If any of those 3 people drop out, you have to remember that if somebody went over here and purchased these hexes, if they are not providing coverage to that hex within 30 days, they lose that hex and they lose their $20. So when I'm purchasing hexes, I'm making sure I have planes in those hexes. I'm not just going randomly buy hexes. If I don't have a station set up yet, I'm talking to a friend right now in Corpus Christi trying to figure out how to make a deal with them because, where in previous, I would send some people some helium or some of that other token as a way of compensation to them. We don't know what we're going to be getting paid for Wingbits yet. So I can't really make that kind of deal with them yet. But when you look at Corpus Christi, there's not a lot of planes down here, which tells me that majority of stations are probably up here and up here in Houston. But somebody went down here and purchased all these. And as you can see, there's no coverage here. So whoever purchased this, if they don't get a miner up soon, they are going to lose. It's probably 2 people. They're going to lose these hexes and lose their money. That's been clear from day one. So I wouldn't, there's a game I guess you have to play that, hey, if I know I'm getting the station up within the next 30 days, and I got 1 hex left, 1 spot left in this hex, I better get on the ball. Me, I haven't worked out a deal yet with my buddy, so I'm not going to go purchase this hex yet. Because I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't want to waste my $20. But if I'm the only person providing coverage down here, even though I'll be the 3rd person, so I'll make this hex red, I should be getting majority of those rewards, almost all those rewards, because it appears that nobody else is really providing coverage in this area. So, and we know they got planes going back and forth. When I went to Cancun, we all flew into Dallas and stuff after. So, they got planes coming through here. They got planes coming through Mexico and stuff like that, going into Houston, going into San Antonio, going into Dallas. It is way more planes than what's popping up right here. But again, that's the chance you take that somebody purchased these, and if they don't get, and there's been more than a couple of days now because I was looking at this a while back, and these were orange and yellow. If somebody's not providing coverage to this, they're going to lose out. So I hope that kind of explains. If y'all have questions, please drop me in the comments what your questions are, and I'll try to help y'all out. But this is, again, a positive thing. And y'all know I can't wrap up a video without talking about my boys over at BitHarvest Studio. Right here on top of the list is Wingbits, and I am eager. I'm supposed to be getting my beta test device out, soon, and I cannot wait to get a hold of it. I want to see this thing working, and I have all kinds of plans when I can possibly run a Helium and Wingbits all on the same device. Because right now, you know, I got to kind of make a choice between it. Right now, Wingbits is my priority, but again, I don't need all those stations like we just discussed. So I'm putting some of those stations. I just uploaded a short on how to update firmware on some of these devices to get those Helium devices back online. Hey, you know, I'm gonna look into Crank. I got some people asking about Crank, but from understanding, Crank you have to, you know, delegate some coins or some money or something like that, and a couple $100 worth. And I'm not about all that right now, especially with Christmas. I just bought 3 of the Dimo Macaron devices. Was hoping they would ship today. I have not heard anything. Getting a little antsy for those also, because just like Helium, the more that gets sent out there, the less the rewards get. But, you know, there's another passive income thing I'm into. But I also am purchasing next payday one of the Hive Mapper devices also. And you're supposed to be able to do something with that with Honeygain. So I don't know too much about this Pawns.app or Earn app. I'm going to have to look into that, but I'm very eager. I think this is going to be a game changer for a lot of us, especially those guys with Bobcat devices and stuff like that. So hopefully I get mine in soon, and I'm going to talk to them. I'd like to see if they have some kind of other firmware for me to test out with my rock pies I have that I pulled back from the previous project. I'm not putting those on Helium. They did not work correctly with Helium at all, but I'm seeing if they have some kind of beta for me to test out also with that. So in closing, again, I'm going to thank everybody for their support so far. Everybody's been cordial, and I appreciate that. 968 subscribers. Please smash the like, thumbs up button. Please hit subscribe if you can, and help me get to 1,000. And if there's anything y'all like me to see a video on, please just ask. I'm trying to find some more ideas, and hopefully when I get my computer finished, I'm building at the house with my little YouTube studio, the production value of these videos will go up a lot, so I can start doing thumbnails instead of just screen captures. From what I'm reading online, that's a very big no-no when you're trying to create these videos. But right now, just the computer I have, it's a lot easier just for me to do a screen capture for the thumbnail for these videos and stuff. So hopefully when I get my new computer, that'll all change. But I don't want to ramble on anymore. Thank y'all very much for everything y'all have done so far. Make sure y'all check out these guys at Wingbits. Check out their Discord. Check out BitHarvest. And y'all have a good one.